Hi guys, haven't talked to you a while, and I did just not yesterday, a few days ago, a Latvian language video, and there were also some people who started giving questions in English, and I started to answer them. So about the last channeling experience, now I have to say I'm very sorry that I don't do normal videos like in the house. But anyway, when I'm driving, I'm free, and then I can do many videos. So we came together, a bunch of group of people, and we wanted to do channeling. I wanted to do channeling. They also wanted. Everybody wanted to do channeling, and it started like we were outside in let's say like in the countryside, like a country house next to a river, next to seashore, and. I wanted to do the channeling. It took me maybe an hour to connect, and that was strange because I noticed that when we are outside, like open air channeling, let's say, it was really difficult to get into the, as I call it, zone. And then I came to a conclusion: why is it difficult? And it was difficult because there is no roof on top of the head, and the energy, when energy comes. When I'm in like a meditative environment, like in a room where everybody meditates, it's actually really easy to get connected because you feel lots of energy on top of your head, and the energy gets amplifies more, and then it's really easy to connect. But when I was outside, it was really difficult because when the energy starts coming, I'm in a no thought state. And all of a sudden I hear birds, I hear wind, I hear like wind blowing, and it took my attention. Then I'm back inside. And the other thing is that I don't feel the energy that intense, so it blocks me out. It like you cannot accumulate that much energy. How I see it is that when you are inside of a room or when you have something on top of your head, let's say like a roof. It's really easy to get into a channeling state because how I see the energy from your aura, from your body, resonates back from the walls and from the ceiling, and it somehow resonates even more. The energy field in your on top of your head, how I call it, the channeling center, the energy resonates even more. So in a conclusion, it's more easier to concentrate energy inside of a room, like in a dorm house, than it's in the open air. How I visioned it was that the energy just concentrates and goes, up in the sky to the birds, and there is no focus. The energy is not concentrated that much, and it's not possible to concentrate it that much in open air. So anyway, we started to do channeling, and there was my brother was asking questions, and it was the first time like a family member or so gives questions in channeling, and how the beings saw, Enrico saw his energy, the asker energy, my brother. It was like wow, I never seen him from that perspective, like confidence, and like also he has a lots of energy. Like I never seen actually people that have that much energy, like energy, our energy field. And it was like, okay, when you are in a channeling state, things like amplify, things like expand, and things like you start to pick up things from the being's perspective, from the beings inside, what the being sees, or the Enrico sees, for example, in this case, and you see things, questions, and answers, and insights from a completely different perspective, like from a completely different point of view, and that's the interesting part of this. So people started asking about what should I do with my health, and what should I do with stuff like this. And the information that was coming through was that one man was asking something, what should I do and stuff. And they said, well, to us, they always say to us, but for example, if Enrico never says to me, I just said to me, but then Enrico said, okay, the channeling said, to us, you look very stiff and lazy. And he said, "Oh yeah, it's true because it was really difficult for me to get up this morning because I was very stiff. It was like stiff and lazy, let's say, and not moving very much." And he said, if you are looking forward for, let's say, a healthier life, you should start not thinking. You shouldn't think what is good for me, what is bad for me. How the Enrico saw it was, when we people think too much about whether eating, let's say, grass or eating vitamins is good, or eating this vitamin will be good, or eating this vitamin will be bad, we are like in a thought processing state, and we are not doing the most important things which is necessary for us. And then they're saying the most important and necessary thing for us for our, let's say, healthier life is movement. We need to have movements. We need to be in a much moving lifestyle. And they said, for example, you don't. So you don't think about whether this is good or bad, but at first you need to be in a movement state. Get your body up to like a state you call fit, and they gave the exercises. And I said the exercises are sea lioning. It means get down on grass like a log, like hands straight and like in a sleep position, and then roll over to the one side and roll over to the other side and do it a couple of times. And they call it, this is sea lioning, like with a sea lion. And they said the idea of this is your lymphatical, let's say, chemical exchange. And what it means, how I understand from the channeling perspective, I don't know whether this translation is good because they never translate into words, but what I saw it was that we as a body under our skin, there is like liquids exchanging, moving up and down, liquids like not blood, but like something like the spit in our mouth. We have something like this. And those liquids carry minerals, those liquids carry all sorts of things. And when we become lazy and stiff, when our body is stiff, those chemicals and those liquids do not exchange in our body and do not move in our body the way it's supposed to move and the way it's supposed to feel and the way it's supposed to be. So at that point, our body gets denser, more stiffer, more lazier, and more, how they say it, out of balance, filled with many stuff, like toxicates, like fat, like dense liquids that don't actually move in our body, and they're supposed to be actively moving and exchanging. So what they said before to that person, before you start thinking about what is eating, what kind of food is better for me and what kind of food does not serve me at this moment, which should not be recommended for me, you first need to be in a state where your body exchanges, those liquids exchanges nicely. So to get in this state, do the sea lining, like roll over to one side, the other side. Get in a state of more active lifetime, like walk, stretch yourself from time to time. And the most important thing is then you can start thinking about whether something is good or something is bad for you, because then your body can take those minerals, can take those vitamins in a much beneficial way. They said that, for example, if you are in a lazy and dense state and all your chemicals are out of balance and all stiff, then the body, it's really difficult for your body to get actual benefits from any vitamins, from anything. So the first things first, get yourself in a moving chemical liquid exchange type of body, be fit, and then the vitamins and the nutritions, whatever you eat, like salads and so on, will do much more better for you than before. So then, as they said, then the smallest amount of vitamin or a berry can do the largest changes for you. And they said that the power, or let's say the energy, the power, is in the smallest things, and is in the smallest things. So you don't need to eat a ton of salad. You don't need to eat a ton of potatoes. When you are fit, when you are moving, when your lymphatical system is okay, is active, then the smallest things you eat can do the biggest benefits for you, the most benefits for you. So, and this is an interesting thing. This is really interesting information, and they share more. And so that, for example, another comparison is that sometimes people, when they are about to eat, they take a huge plate and then they eat, and then go away, do some other things. I love the way you present this information. Thank you. Well, thank you for listening. So, for example, when you eat a lot of things and then move on, they said another thing, that, for example, when you eat fast, in a comparison, it's like the car engine is not turned on yet, and then you squeeze it full and then turn it on, and the food that you ate, the tremendous amount of food that you ate. Sorry, I was losing internet connection. Not me, but the mobile phone. So when you are in the state of eating very much and putting in, the organism doesn't know how to manage the thing that you just ate. And the thing how you can prepare is, for example, tasting a lemon, or actually tasting something has a distinct taste, like a unique taste, like lemon, like like onion or something. And what it does, the taste receptors in your tongue, they sense like a highly strong taste, and what the system does, it automatically turns on the digestive system. So for example, you're about to eat something like salads, like potatoes, something, you taste a little bit like pepper, like lemon, like something that puts you on a distinct taste that you feel. Then after a little bit moment, start eating. And what they said is that the distinct taste will energetically turn on your digestive system. And they said that at that point, you don't need to eat that much. You don't need to eat that much. The digestive system will be turned on, and I hope there will be internet. The digestive system will be turned on, and the less you eat, not the less you eat, but you will not need to eat that much. The body will take the most out of it. It's like the system is already prepared. And it can take the absolute maximum from the food you eat. And they said that then you don't need to eat that much at all. It's like a simple method that we and everybody can do. And then the person asked about, okay, what about the sugar? Should I eat sugar? And I don't know whether they respond to him, but what I remember from that information, from that topic, from that question was that sugar, there are many types of sugars, like sugar from fruit, like they call it the sun vegetables, fruit, like orange. There's a tremendous amount of food. Like everything what grows in the sun is a sun food, like sun vegetables, how do you call it? Orange and lemon. They all consist of sugar, of natural sugar. And what I understood from the equations that the sugar, the food which we can buy in stores, is with like how do you call it, the conventional sugar. Let's say like a conventional sugar, or like a production sugar. In Latvian, we call it a little bit different, or I could call it a little bit differently. So that sugar is in the quality, it has really, really less, really less qualities what a fruit sugar has, like an original natural fruit sugar has. So in the information what I understood is that when we eat too much chocolate, which is full with sugar, ice cream, which is full of sugar, like burgers, like cola, like everything which is full of sugar, the conventional sugar, production sugar, our lymphatical system, lymph node system, it gets stiffer and denser, and it doesn't get active. The vision what I saw was, for example, when you take an ordinary sugar which you can buy in stores and mix it together with water, like in tremendous amount, the water gets stiffer, and it gets like I don't know how to call it, denser and denser, and it does the same to your body. It does the same to your lymph nodes. It gets denser and denser and denser and denser. So what they said, it will turn out for you to be more and more lazier. It will give yourself that you will get more and more lazier in time. It means, what I understood from other channelings is that the body energy field, when we eat soft food like sugar, like creams, like cheeses and stuff like this, it's like a soft food, our energy gets lazier. We, with our energy body, get lazier. It just reduces our fire energy, the energy of activity, the energy in solar plexus chakra it reduces. But foods like with distinct taste, like lemon, like pepper, like something sharp and spicy, it activates the fire in ourselves, the fire energy. The solar plexus activates, and it's also a food like acid food, like food that is a little bit acid. So it acts as a fire. So eating much sugar will cause you to be lazier, stiffer, denser, and it'll give you all sorts of problems. And I remember we channeled one woman Latvian which lived maybe 500 years ago in Latvia. And Latvia is a region where you need to work a lot because there's winters. In summer you need to prepare a lot. In winters it's cold. You need a lot of wood. So you need to prepare constantly for the winters. And definitely you need to work a lot. And that lady said that laziness, in the channeling, she said that laziness is the cause of all evil or all bad that is. And she said that there were times in their ages where neighbors and other person, when somebody got to a point a little bit lazy, like, oh, I cannot do it, and they just started beating him up and hitting him. Now, you evil, lazy, don't lose yourself to laziness. Don't lose yourself. Don't give up to laziness energy. Don't give up. And the result of it is, now it's in the energy field, in energy chakras. It's the result from just what we eat can do beneficial for us, and what we eat could also do harm for us. So balancing what we eat can cause tremendous improvements in our healthier and also our wealthier life. Because when we are not lazy, we become more active. We start doing something in our lives. So I did another video about the energetical food and how food affects our chakras. That was in another life, not in another life, but another video. So continuing, so what they recommended: use less sugar, use more clean sugar, like sugar from nature. Okay, so continuing, and then one lady asked, okay, what is the thing should I avoid, and what is the thing that will do harm for me? And the Enrico said, well, you're asking a strange question. What you should be asking is, what is the thing that will put more and more excitement and put more and more joy in my life? And he also replied that when we focus on the things what we should avoid and what should I not do. We focus on limitation, and subconsciously our body programs ourselves to limitation and finding more limitation. When we focus on joy, on happiness, and the things what can we do to give us more joy, um, it brings to ourselves like a fulfillment of positive energy, and it just carries on more closer to more and more positive energy. And then everybody started to laugh, and she said, okay, what should I do to have more and more positiveness in my life? What are the methods that Enrico can recommend? And he said that, well, many of you have heard that walk in the early mornings when they're I don't know how in other places in the world, but in Latvia, sometimes in the early mornings, we have the grass is a little bit wet with they call it in Latvian the rasa, which is basically a condensated wet, and because at night it was a little bit colder. They said, well, take early evenings walks with naked feet in this early mornings in this rasa. So it will give you it's not a therapy, it's not a chemical reaction that you will have, but it will give you the sensation that I am, the sensation I am, and actually it's really pleasurable feeling at this moment. It will give you the sensation of it. And that's really important, because at that sensation you will be and you will get and connect more closer to yourself. You will get more closer and you will feel yourself a little bit more, like more, you become more aware. And that awareness state and joyfulness state, or pleasurable state, the feeling will like a little bit turn you on, a little bit turn the joy on, a little bit turn the happiness on. So be in this state, and that state of the awareness state or the joyfulness state can make the hugest changes in your lifetime, the biggest changes in lifetime. So you don't need to avoid something, you don't need to run away from something. You just need to be in a more positive and a more joyful state. So that's all there to it. So that's all there is to it. And then only they said to her said also the same thing what we told to that person about the sea lioning rolling over in the grass to activate the lymph node system. What else was there? There was something about the winds, and they said that somebody asked about wind, what causes the winds, and they said, for example, there are low winds when the clouds are low in the sky. The clouds when are low, and there can be higher chances of a wind, because when for example, this is the ground, this is the sky, and the gap between the ground and sky is smaller. So, for example, when here are no clouds and sun shining like a couple of kilometers further, the heated air will go up. The heated air will go up, and then somewhere on this side. But because the cloud surface is really low, there is a small gap, and the air will flow much quicker through it. The air will need to flow much quicker through it, and it will cause larger wind flows. But when the ceiling is high, the wind will flow through, but it will not cause that much of a wind drag, like you will call it as a wind. So they said that basically, when you look at the height of, when you look at the height of the clouds, you can basically tell whether there's a strong winds appearing or whether there's weak winds appearing. So you can basically tell it by the height of the mountains, height of the ceiling, the cloud ceiling. What else was there? I think the most important thing I told you. Anyway, if you have some questions, you can write them down now, and I will answer them. And then. And yes. What else? What else is there? They said a couple of beautiful words like the smallest step towards changes will be the one small step can make the greatest changes in your life. Just one small step can make the greatest changes in your life. It was also beautiful. And they said something about future, that in the future, near future, there will be lots of like organizations that have and will have seeds and plant banks, like seed and plant banks, like they grow seeds and plants, and these organizations are recovering the genetical information or the genetical material for unique plants, like plants that have nearly died out. And what are they doing is that they have found that there are several plants in our available for us that that help to do the cycle of the nature, cycle of the life, cycle of the life. For example, bees need honey. That's why they fly. That's why they're flying to get fruits and so on. Flying to get apple, to get from the blossoms some kind of nectars or something. And but bees also help to I don't call it how they're trees that they have like a seed that needs to flow to another tree, and then the fruit can only happen to grow. The bees carry this further, and it's like a cycle. It's like a cycle. And also the flowers are needed, the trees are needed, the bees are needed, the bees need a home, and so this is like a huge environmental cycle. What I understood, that this is only a cycle between the trees, the grasses, and as they said that, for example, if you cut out a large forest, the cycle of recovery cycle of those plants are destroyed. So it takes several years for the cycle to rebuild itself, to get back to itself. But then there are these plants that help these cycles to get better, to get like rehab. And that's why they said that in the future there will be lots and more of these plant banks that organizations that have all plant banks and seeds that will carry on and discover, and not like discover, but carry on and rediscover the already existing plants that help the cycles to like for the climate to recover. So the idea basically would be to create an artificial cycle, for example in the desert, to create a cycle that the climate gets self-sustaining, like a green self-sustaining climate. So as they said, in the future there will be more and more these type of organizations that will be more and more sponsored from the idea of governmental shelves, let's say like this, sources. So this was also interesting information. They said somebody told whether this is a business opportunity, and they said yes, this is a business opportunity also, but not yet. 1, 2, or 3 years. In 1, 2 or year time, it will only start expanding. What else was there? So the unicality of the nature will be respected much more in the upcoming years. And there were some talks about the financial system, but I don't remember that much anymore. I did in Latvian, but I don't remember that much. So anyway, if you have any questions, write down. And when I come back, I will create another video with the questions about no money society that one of my friends from Hong Kong written down. Although they were channeling questions, I will try to drive and okay, let's say I will just try to channel a little bit. I'll park somewhere, but I'm not sure whether I have. All right, 47% on battery, so I have battery spare, so I'll have some time to answer those questions. Only I think I need to write them down somewhere. Don't know where. Okay, so see you guys in like 20 minutes or so. I will go to pick up water, like fresh nature water from the forest. There is like a well which gives the fresh and clean water. I will I will not take the camera with me because I think there will be lots of many people, and then they see them one strange guy is walking around with a camera and talking to himself. I don't want to look strange to them. But anyway,